Hi, I'm Allison Hogue. Welcome back to Pediatric Survival Swim. Today I wanted to talk about a subject that may be kind of touchy, but I really wanted to get your thoughts and opinions on some of the research and material that I've collected over the past few years and just kind of present it to you and get your thoughts and feelings on the subject. And that is, are we unknowingly conditioning our children to drown? And that can be hard to swallow because we never want to condition our children to fail in any way. We never want to be seen as bad parents. And I totally get that. And some of these that I'm going to explain and walk through with you are things that I have done personally myself as a parent. So I totally understand where this could be kind of upsetting to some, and this may also be a trigger for those who have had a water accident or a drowning in their own family or personal lives. So this may be a trigger for you as well, just a fair warning. So let's go ahead and get started and dive in through this. So through my years of swimming and research on drowning, I have concluded that there are two major behavioral aspects that we use to approach water, and that we use these behaviors unknowingly to condition our children to potentially drown. Drowning is the leading cause of unintentional death in children under the age of 5, and the second leading cause of unintentional death from children ages 5 to 15. So drowning is a huge part, is a huge statistic among children and teenagers. And many of those statistics, aren't even counting the ones, the children from 15 to 18, and that's we are starting to see is those statistics are climbing as well. Now, the statistics for this year are skewed, as you may know, due to COVID. They're over 100% more than last year. And I know that's because of school and schedules are different and parents working from home. So the numbers are way more than they usually are, but our goal as parents and instructors obviously are to eliminate that at all possible. So let's go ahead and start. I want to talk about the two behaviors. One is instilling fear of the water. And the second behavior is instilling too much positive reinforcement about their child's performance in the water, or positive aspects of the water itself. So the first one I want to talk about is fear. And I'm very guilty of this myself as a parent before my children knew how to swim. And fear plays such a big role in our lives and in our children's lives, especially if you are a parent who does not know how to swim or swim well. So this fear can be manifested from an early age. So when your children are taking baths and you're not wanting to pour water over their heads because it makes them uncomfortable, this is where fear starts to set in when you're chaining these behaviors and doing it over and over and over. You're conditioning that child to fear the water being poured over their head and over their face. So that will eventually lead to swimming. And in the water, if your child wears the puddle jumper, it keeps that water out of their face. They may use goggles. And if they don't have their goggles, you may see a very negative response from them because they're not comfortable. And eventually that leads to fear of, there's water in my goggles, there's water in my eyes, I went underwater and I'm uncomfortable. And that is the beginning of fear. And so we don't want to condition that response, because drowning only takes 20 seconds. So if our child falls in and they are fearful, they are uncomfortable, and they are very upset about it, that's going to take, first off, it's going to take a few seconds for them to register what's going on. Then it's going to take another few seconds. So that's 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds. Then it's going to take another 2 to 3 seconds because they're fearful of the water and their body is trying to adjust, figuring out what's going on, and they're in panic mode. So that's another 2 or 3 seconds. That's about 6 seconds right there. And then it's going to take another 2, 3, 4 seconds for them to try to work on what they need to do to get into a floating position or get to a wall or get up from the water to a swim without panicking. And so that's another, up to 10 seconds. So you have 10 more seconds left before your child can lose consciousness. And depending on how fearful your child is of the water, it may take longer than that. And if your child doesn't know how to swim, then the risks of them drowning is very significant. So another way we do this is by really getting onto our children if they wander off to the water or if they jump in without our approval. Yes, this is an appropriate response by a parent, but I personally, after my child, her first day of swim lessons, because I had instilled that condition of fear in her life and behavior, and I've reinforced that with it's okay to be scared and it's okay to be fearful. Her first day of swim, she fled. She left. She was 4 years old. She ran out of the pool and ran away. Excuse me. Ran away. I've been sick. Sorry. Ran away from the instructor. And so the instructor and myself had to go and pull her back in to finish her lesson. She was screaming. She was crying. She was not happy. But now, at almost 11 years old, I can honestly say if she were to ever be in trouble, she would thrive. And that's what we want at the end of the day. And she is best friends with our swim instructor. She's forever grateful. She loves her swim instructor so much. But as parents, we are fearful ourselves as well. We don't like our child to be uncomfortable. We don't want our child to drown. So our instinct is to protect them. And sometimes that's not always the correct response, especially when you're not always going to be there to save them. If they accidentally fall in the water with you present, let them try to figure it out. Give them a few seconds before you rescue them. So rescuing kind of also leads into our next topic, which is positive aspects of the water and positive reinforcement in your child's skill. So I do want to say that fear, from what I've seen and I've gathered that information through lessons and through research on drowning victims, is that fear plays a big role from children ages end of 3 to really 4 years and older. So those end of 3s, 4, 5-year-olds, 5.5 and 6-year-olds, they're going to be the ones that really struggle during that swim lesson because they've had more time to learn fear of the water. So they've been in floaties the longest, longer than our younger babies. Now, they have the ability to reason. So they have that ability to recognize schedules and patterns. And so they're less likely to be the ones that slip away quietly and you find them in the pool. Because they're starting to understand right from wrong, that you do this during swim time and you don't do this when it's not swim time. They don't want to be in the water anyway, because they understand that getting water in their face makes them uncomfortable, and they don't like that. So they're less likely to go near the water. And they're more able to recognize schedules. This is when we go to swim. This is when we don't. And so they're less likely of a statistic. Now, the next one is for ages 4, really 3 and under, where they don't have the capability and cognitive ability to reason and to recognize schedules and recognize that we had playtime earlier in the pool and it was so much fun. Why can't I reenact that now? And they're less able to be aware of awareness as far as my mom's not here, my dad's not here, I'm alone. They don't understand that. So, and we have conditioned them that the water is okay. Sorry, I'm trying to move my paper out of your way. Okay, so let's talk about positive aspects of reinforcement. So this happens when we go on vacation and when we have a pool in our backyard, or we go to a friend's house to swim and we're all lathered up, we're ready to play, we're ready to go, we're excited. Everything about the water is exciting. It's hot outside. Let's go cool off. This is fun. I'm going to give you some toys. I'm going to give you some toys in the bathtub. And from an early age, we start this because we want our children to be comfortable. We want them to like the water because we like the water. We travel and spend lots of money to be around the water. And that's not a bad thing. But when your child is unable to use that cognitive ability to understand that they're alone, that it's not swim time, that I can't swim, then you're playing with fire. So, and we do this a lot. I get calls weekly, if not daily, sometimes that, please, can we register for your class? My 3-year-old is jumping into the pool without me there, when we're not ready, without his floaties, without us being ready. And that's because we have conditioned them to do that. And it's really a fine line between promoting fear and promoting too much positive reinforcement. So one way that we use positive reinforcement that can backfire in a negative way and condition our child to potentially drown is through floaties. So floaties create a vertical position, which is also the drowning position. So unless our child, without those floaties, knows how to swim and get to a wall or roll over and float to get air, you are conditioning them to have a fun time and to drown. So we're, yay, good job, I can't believe you're swimming, when in actuality, they're not swimming. The device is keeping them above water. Excuse me. Sorry, getting over some pneumonia. I've been out of lessons for a couple weeks now, but I'm feeling better, and that's what counts. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So we are using the toys as well to condition our children that the water is fun. We get in the water and play with our children, but sometimes we play inappropriately. We don't allow them to come to us. We're not establishing hand targets. We're not sending them to the wall to swim, and we're not allowing them to float. And these are the 3 things that we should be conditioning our children to do, so that if they are ever alone, they know what to do and how to do it. So letting your child jump into the water and not catch them. So another way we do that, we condition our children, is by saving them. When they jump to us, we catch them before they hit the water, before they go under. Once they're under, we pick them up right away. We don't let them kind of sit there, figure it out, swim to us a little bit. No, our natural instinct as parents is to save them. When they fall in to the water, if they're running to the side of the pool and they just fall in, our natural instinct is to run up and scoop them up and care for them. But if they're alone and they find themselves outside and they fall in, you're not going to be there to rescue them. So we are conditioning them. And some children don't even swim. They don't panic. They sit there and drown because you have conditioned them to know that when they fall in, they have to wait because you're going to save them. So they just wait until they run out of air. And that's not the response that we want as parents. And we unknowingly do this. We don't, we're not conditioning our children to drown on purpose. That would be insane. So by traveling to these places. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to this person's house and swim. We're all excited. We are using the water as a positive aspect in a way that could be fatal. And so by instilling rules and letting our children go into the pool without us, without our hands, in their floaties by themselves, we don't even get in the water with them. We let them run around and float on their own and swim on their own. We are conditioning them to show that it's okay to get into the pool alone. It's okay that I'm poolside watching or on my phone or anything like that, that is okay to do. Uh-oh, my dog may start barking. I'm sorry. My children were conditioned out of fear, so I haven't really, I've seen it firsthand. I've had a little boy, day two swim lessons, just jump in while mom and I were talking. Thankfully, I was in the water. But the appropriate way to condition our children so that they are prepared for an aquatic accident is by survival swim lessons and by putting up barriers, but most importantly, survival swim lessons, because kids are very, very sneaky, and they will flee when you're doing dishes, or when you're at a friend's house and they have a pool or they have a doggy door. They're going to slip away because you had fun earlier that day, because you conditioned that child for a positive response that the water is a great place to be. And again, they're too young to understand that they are not supposed to be there by themselves. So survival swim lessons does wonders for your child. It instills spatial awareness, that they are aware that they are somewhere that they could have to potentially use that skill. It teaches them breath control. So blowing out bubbles, not a good thing. You don't want to teach your child to blow all of their air out. They may have to savor that air because they may have fallen in pretty deep, and it may take a second or two for them to get to the top, for them to be able to perform their skill. So you want to teach them breath control, and that's what survival swimming teaches. It also teaches how to eliminate that fear when they fall into that water. That's why we do checkouts. That's why we promote jumping into the pool. We are eliminating that fear, eliminating that 3 seconds of panic that they may not have when they fall into a body of water by themselves. And that's important as well. We teach your children how to swim and the appropriate postures to swim. This, horizontal, not vertical. We instill safety measures. You only enter the pool when your instructor is already in the pool, when an adult that you're with is already in the pool, not by yourself. So by doing these repetitions over and over and over, we are conditioning good habits and good behaviors. We are teaching our children and your child how to roll to a float. When your child falls into that body of water, if the side is not available for them to grab, if you're in a current somewhere where that's carrying you away from that wall, they are able to roll and float, get air, and either swim back into, or roll back into the swim position, or hold that float until help arrives. And that's the posture and condition and behavior we want to instill, is that I'm not going to be there to save you. You have to do these measures on your own and movements on your own. And then after a certain point, after I feel you've completed that, then I will rescue you. We also teach our child to fall in and swim to a wall. Most of the time when a child falls in, they are unable to get from this position falling in to this position because of floaties. So floaties teach them that they need to grab the wall. The wall could be right here, but they're not able to get there because they're bicycling, doing a bicycle motion, or this is how they were taught to swim. So they can't quite reach that wall. So we teach them how to leverage their body up to a swim position, or how to go at an angle to a swim position to grab onto that wall for safety. And there are just many other benefits to survival swim. These are just to name a few. So I really wanted to talk about these 2 conditions that we are unknowingly instilling upon our children that could possibly lead to disaster for your family. And obviously, we don't want that in any way, shape, or form. So I wanted to come to you today and make this what I thought was going to be a short video, now into 20 minutes. I wanted to talk with you about this, have a discussion about it, and not to shame you or put you down or in any way, shape, or form. I just want you to be aware. I want you to be aware so that you can make the correct decision for your family and what steps you need to take to avoid disaster for your family, to be able to say that you are not a part of this, a part of statistics, because each child is not a statistic. They are not. They're an individual child, and the fact is that 370,000 people drown each year, and that doesn't include the children that die later from drowning complications, and it doesn't include the people that were saved, that had the accident but were able to be saved. So really the statistics of drowning are much, 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 much higher, but the numbers are skewed. And especially in 2020, where we have COVID, we're really starting to see those numbers fluctuate, not in a positive way, obviously, but it's something we need to address. It's something that we need to have a conversation about, because we can fix this. And we need to share this information with all of our friends, all of our family. If you have a pool, if you know someone who has a pool, if you like going to the pool, if you have children, if you want to have children, if you have grandchildren, these messages need to be shared, because we can only stop drowning by providing education to others so that they can make make decisions for their family to prevent these accidents from happening. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something today. Please feel free to give me a comment or a message. You can email me at allison@pediatricsurvivalswim.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing. So all the social medias, and you can Google me and give me a message on my website, or you can leave a comment about what you think after this video. So that's it. Have a great Friday, everyone, and I will see you next time.